guys. Alright guys, I'll give you a quick update. We've connected our feed and our return line, and the fittings aren't tight yet. I haven't tightened them down yet, but you can kind of see I got it wrapped around that way, going for the feed, going wrapping around this way for the return. Of course, this will be all of our power wires for the 3 pumps that are on there, and then this right here will be for the sending unit when we get that far, and we'll tap into that into the factory harness here. Okay, so yeah, so really and truly I can run this through the hat. Well, no, I can't. I need to tighten these down, tighten these AN fittings down, and before I completely button it up, I guess I better be double checking that this thing doesn't leak, right? So yeah, so I'll probably just leave it apart. That way we can pressurize the system and just double check and make sure we don't have any leaks or anything before buttoning it all up. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to continue to run the line. I'm going to get up under the car. I'm going to go ahead and tie in the stainless steel filter. Here we go. So yeah, we'll add the one line there. We got one there. We'll go ahead and put that in there. We'll probably go ahead and zip tie up the lines there again. I won't put the cover back on until I've had an opportunity to fire everything up and it's ready to go. I might end up making a trip over to the storage building and just put some of these pieces in there that I'm not going to be messing with until it's time to completely button it up. So I'll just get them out of the way, and we'll have to worry about them falling or accidentally getting damaged. So that's where we're at the moment. We'll go ahead and put in the fuel filter. I'm gonna see if I can run it up through the fender well. There's a it's basically right here in this plastic piece right here, whether or not you guys can see it or not. Let's see. Sorry guys, I got most of my light in here. Here, let's use this light real quick. So we'll put it in the filter, and then the little plastic piece there toward the back is where the fuel line is currently running through. So like I said, I'll probably get it up to about right there, and then stop. That way when I get the car back down, if I need to, I can take the wheel off and get in there and fish it up where it needs to be, up here. And then once we get this thing down, we're going to go ahead and drain some of the coolant out. No, I'm not. Shoot, I'm getting ahead of myself. Yeah, once we get that fed, then we need to go do all the power wire and get all that ran over there, down the passenger side, which that seems to be simple enough. We are, so I've already got the interior pulled out. This panel right here, I'll have to finish getting this pulled out. I saw in Lethal's video that they put their control module there behind that panel, and looks like a good spot to me. So I'm gonna copy those guys and do the same thing. I don't think that I would want to mount it under that seat, you know, I mean under the row seat. I mean, I guess you could, but yeah, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm gonna remove that panel up there, and then we'll see how much room we got back there. I actually went and got some panel removal deals, because as I was pulling off the bottom part of it, I saw one in there that I knew was going to be a pain if I didn't have the tool. So I had some, which, you know, who knows, a million years ago, but I couldn't find them, so it was just easier to go do that. And I needed to go buy a cutter anyway to cut these lines these Brady lines. All right, so that's where we're at. We'll give you an update once we get a little bit further. Okay, so we have added the inline fuel filter. Of course, the flow going toward the front of the car. We'd already marked the line. That was going to be our feed line. And let me get under here and kind of show you guys what's going on. So, new line is being fed there, all the way down through here. This is that cover that I'm telling you about. So this cover right here, this shield, is going to go back up here. Okay, then it'll cover all this up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the sorry guys, we're going to take the fuel filter right here and we'll zip tie it, flip it down a little way, okay, and then we'll throw some zip ties in this, but the cover is going to be over this, so you're not going to be able to see any of this, okay? So it's going to bolt all back up there and it'll all be up under that cover, and then it'll make it easier for us when we want to service the fuel filter here. We'll take that cover off and do that. Of course, right there's the old one. All right, of course we're not using any of those lines anymore, so that's not going to do us any good. We'll just have to take the cover off, and I'll leave enough room or enough line, you know what I'm saying, to be able to for this to droop down a little bit, you know what I'm saying, so we can get a wrench on there and be able to pull that filter out for when we're running the 85. So there we go. That's where we're at. I need to go figure out what I did with all of my zip ties. Once I get the zip ties, I'm going to feed it into the fender a little bit, and then like I said, we'll probably stop with running the lines right there, because the rest of it, I'm going to run through this fender and up through here, and so I'll probably stop there and then continue with running all the power wire, the controller, hobs, switch, all that stuff. Yeah, so that's where we're at, and I'll give you an update when we get a little bit further. Alright guys, so we're getting in here trying to do some more of this wiring and just kind of give you a snapshot of where I'm at. I mean, the lighting in this thing is horrible, but on this side, let's start over here. Show more. So I decided to mount my box right here on the side. Sorry, that flashing. I think maybe the battery's going dead. Let's see if we can go a little bit less. There we go. Oh, maybe not. There we go. So I decided to mount my box here, and the reason why is it fit right behind the panel without having to modify any of the insulation or the styrofoam on the panel. Plus I thought, hey, if I ever needed to get access to it, rather than having to pull the whole panel out, literally I could just kind of pull it out from the side there and be able to access all the wires. Plus all your wiring, you know, as you're kind of tracking down through this loom here, and coming from the fuel hat, it's just creating a really short run, and obviously giving you possibility of less issues. Right now I just got the panel up there with some Velcro tape, just because I was kind of setting it up there, getting it where I wanted it first. I'll put a couple set screws in there. I'll be honest with you, that's pretty doggone sturdy. I really have to yank that to get that off of there, but I'll probably still put a screw in that. Nonetheless, it's working fine. So now let's go over here. I try to get a bigger light in here to get better lighting, but this is just going to be what it's going to be. All right, so we have our 3 pumps and our 2 wires for our sending unit, and you notice right there it comes with the butt connectors already. So I mean, they make that simple for you. On the plug that was going into the original fuel hat, you'll notice that the 2 smallest wires on here, like the thinnest gauge wires, are that green. I think it's green and, let's see if I can see, green and blue, and then a yellow, and violet, maybe yellow and purple. It could be brown, guys. But anyway, just know that it's the two smallest wires and gauge wires. Those are going to go to your sending, okay? And then you've got your yellow trigger wire right here, which will be yellow with a gray stripe, okay? And that's going to be your trigger wire. So trigger wire is we're going to snip these three off, and we'll tie two of them to the fuel sending unit, okay? And then I'm going to run a wire from here, run it down the loom, and then it'll actually wire into the box over here. And then I've already got all my power wire ran through the firewall, and I got that ran the way that I want it. This is the wire for the hob switch. So yeah, I'm still kind of deciding there what I'm going to do with the hob switch. I'm going to wire it in, and if for some reason I decide not to use it, I think all I'm doing is I think I just do a jumper. I have to look at the schematic again, I can't remember, but I got the hob switch for now, and then I've got a little green light that I'm going to put in the dash. That way, once the hob switch is activated, the little green light will come on. You know, I know a lot of people don't like running the hob switch just because they're not certain if it's activating, or maybe there's a problem with the hob switch or whatever. I'm gonna run it just because I just thought, like, if I'm just driving it day to day, if I go a little bit further, you know, maybe I'll want that. So my plan is get this wired up. I'll do some I think probably what I'll do is once it's all done, because I mean, you guys don't need to see me wiring this stupid thing, but once I've got it all ran and tidied up, zip tied up, and into the box, I will show you guys a picture of that, just so you can see, you know, how it's wired up. But pretty simple. I mean, we're going to get to cutting, snipping, wire tying all this together, and running everything. I did think I'm going to change this. I'm going to show you guys this. I think I'm going to change the way that the lines are ran. Originally, because the wires were on this side, I ran the lines in and kind of wrapped them around. But I don't know if that might cause problems, you know, later on down the line. Right here. I mean, it's not like a severe bend or anything. But anyway, here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen these up. I'm going to run them to where, spin these around, tighten them back up on this side. And then that way they're essentially just running straight. There's no bend, and yeah, I'll do that. I've got another wrench just to make sure that these are all tight. I've gotten most of them tight through all of it, but I mean, you know, before we test all this, I mean, I'm gonna go back and just double check everything and make sure I got everything right. But that's kind of where we're at. I'll give you guys an update as soon as I get a little bit further. All right, guys, thought I'd show you where we're at. So we got it all wired up. Don't have the sending unit wired up. I got the little ends right here. I just tightened it. I was running the wires over. So we've got all the wires running along the loom, all zip tied, looking real nice and neat. All right, you're gonna notice that little wad of wires right there. I left a length of wire. That way, if I decide to move it, or if I don't like where it's sitting, I can always move it, and I've got a little bit of extra wire. You see, we got everything running up to the box. Okay, and I'll hop over there here in just a second and kind of go over the wiring, which I might be able to do from here. Let's see. All right. So right there, where the yellow is going in, and yellow and black, that's going to be our trigger wire, and then the one side of our hob switch. Okay, and then on the other side, right, I'm sorry, on this side right here, guys, where you see the green and black wire, that's for the secondary pumps to kick in. And you're going to see the black wire, which is the other side of the hob switch. The green wire is a wire that's going to go to that green LED that I'm going to have in the dash. That's just going to come on once the once the hob switch has power. Okay, so just to let me know it's running. And then of course we got pump 1, 2, and 3 all wired in. Use nice little wire ferrules Try to keep it, you know, somewhat clean. Like I said, I have just a two-way tape up there, so it's just kind of hanging there. We're going to put a couple of sheet metal screws to hold that in place. And then obviously once the panel is in there, be out of sight, out of mind. And then I just need to clean out a spot, probably right here. I think that's where the seat belt, the rear shoulder strap was. So I'm going to actually take that bolt out, clean up the metal right there. And I will probably I'll probably put the ground right there. I'll try to fit it up under there if that'll work. If not, I'll find another spot to be able to do the ground. But either way, we'll have it right to the chassis, get it to bare metal, so we got a good ground there. I'll tell you what, I'll take you guys over here on the other side real quick. Let's see. So as you can kind of see, all the wires running along. We've got, grab this light. I've got the green wire just kind of sitting there that'll go behind the dash. Like I said, I'm going to take I got a small LED, green LED that I'm going to put there. I'm going to trigger that LED before we'll get it all hooked up, just to make sure that that works. Ran the wire through here. We drilled a hole in the firewall, and then used a grommet through the firewall. And basically how I did that, and this is actually sitting on a jack stand, guys. This isn't sitting on that wheel crib. I just had that sitting there. You can kind of see where it's coming through the firewall, and then going back up into on the other side of where the battery mount is, right there. And once we get all the battery box and all that mounted back in there, we'll wire all that up. Okay, so we're pretty much done on the wiring side of the fuel system. Really the only thing I have left to do is come over here on this side, get into the firewall. I might even have to, I might be able to feed the fuel line through. I haven't really looked at it, but basically the fuel line is going to run up through the fender well and out through the top. And then once I've got the fuel line running out of the top here, I'm going to stop. I'm probably really going to stop now. I mean, I don't necessarily have to have that fed through there to be able to continue going. Now it's really time to get off all that and start taking the supercharger off. So what I will probably do is, once I've finished kind of buttoning up what I'm doing now, is I will take it off of these wheel cribs. Well, you know what? I'll probably actually drain the coolant. I'll drain the coolant and then take it off the wheel cribs and just start on the top. My plan is to take off a couple of days next week to try to get all this buttoned up and done. I've just been really covered up at work, and then trying to come home and just do a few minutes a night, you know. And then listen, I'm not doing it every night, you know. Last night I took the family to the movies, you know. So it's coming along as fast as it's coming along. It's gonna happen. But yeah, I just thought if I took those 2 days off and just kind of devote to knocking it out, I could knock it out and be done with it. So I'm really happy with the way that it's coming out. Yeah, I think that it's gonna be nice. Hopefully this helps somebody out when trying to do theirs. If you guys want to do put in that triple pump return style fuel system in your GT500. This is the Fore Innovations. Obviously, you know, I know Lethal is selling that Division X deal. I got mine through palmbeachdyno. Not quite the same, but pretty close. I will tell you about the Fore Innovations. I really like that the fuel hat was already put all together. You didn't have to do anything really. One thing you really had to do was just swap over the sending unit in that one. And I also like, I like how all of it wires up. I mean, it just, you can't get any more simple than that. And everything that you need comes right there in the kit. So, really nice. Originally, I was thinking about taking and putting the box and putting it in the trunk, but you know, it just makes the wires that much longer, having to trace everything back. But finalizing it right there. And I'll be honest with you, I got that idea from watching the video of Lethal Performance putting in theirs, that Division X deal in their GT500, and so watching that video actually was a lot of help as well. Just in trying to get an idea of how to route everything, and you know, just kind of give you that general direction, even though it's a little bit different, you know. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. I mean, that's pretty much done, with the exception of finishing running that fuel line into the engine bay here, and then once we go to tie it all in to the fuel rails and all that, I'll continue on that video. But obviously, you know, once we get that far, the Whipple will be on, so we'll tie it all back in together and get all this put back together. So until next time, guys, this is where we're at.